Well. Hello there. It's Eldor, or the Masterversal-Toyhunter here. Yes, I was standing at the great eye of the universe, and I thought, why not make my own custom figure? For better or worse? Come with me, and let's see what things we can make with our creativity. Ooh, well, don't just stand there. Come on down. And so, with our tools and materials gathered, what figure shall we make with a little magic? Let's see. A bit of this. A bit of that.
Look out, man.
And maybe some kick. Oh dear. And I think some of this will do the trick. Yes, sir. So, no matter if it's night or day, come rain or shine. I think it's a good day for some custom figure time. Indeed. Oh. A bit disorganized there today. But yes, the sun is at its zenith there, and you can tell, of course, it's irradiating the brilliance of my beard there. Well, anyway, welcome everybody into the channel there today for this a live segment of custom figure time, where hopefully sometime soon I'll be doing videos documenting my how I go about my custom action figures. But I thought I'd keep alive a side of that segment to interview some other creatives in the community there and what have you. So yes, I see we've got a good many of you in the chat there today. So yes, indeed, thank you for setting some time to listen in there and join in the chat, and so we'll bring in the Da Vinci of the toy community there, Skele Vader.
I'm so glad to be here. Oh, thank you. It's great to be here. I'm excited to talk to you about all this stuff that we do.
Oh, indeed. And how about we have a take a quick look at the chat there, see who's all piling in.
Oh yeah.
And here we have Pop Actor. He's bright and early there, or he's probably in the evening, but early on the chat there. Good evening, Pop Actor. And then next we have Attorney Lips.
All right,
good evening there, sir.
Yeah, good to see you.
We have Bobby living dangerously there.
That's right.
Good evening there, my good sir. Who else have we got? Yes,
Sculptor,
he's in there.
That's right.
Good to see you there, sir. And where is he?
Rolando.
Oh, there he is. Rolando Flores. Good to see you again there, sir.
Yeah, great to see you.
And yes, here we have another brilliant creative person here, Kenzo's Creations. Good having you into the episode there today, Kenzo, sir.
Yes, indeed.
Maybe another guest for a future.
There you go.
Custom figure time. Yes, indeed. And yes, everybody's all greeting each other, and it's good to see you there.
Love that.
All right. While we're waiting for any more spring chickens to pop in there, or early birds. Yes, Skele Vader, sir. So I suppose the first question is, where on earth are you from there?
All right. So I'm here in Central California, in the United States on planet Earth, and right outside a little town called Fresno. So that's right in the center of the state, pretty much.
Oh yes, I believe you get the hot weather out there rather good sometimes.
Yeah, it's
most of the time.
it's still hanging on right now. It gets nice and chilly in the winter, but not chilly compared to what other people experience. But the summers are usually just totally unrelenting, and sometimes it can even be hot in October. So we're it's coming to a close, though, I think.
Do you get the old or 4 seasons in one day going on
Yeah,
there sometimes?
yeah. We
We
sometimes
do
get
here as well.
we get one season for 6 months and then another season for 6 months. So it's a 2-season system, winter and summer.
Sounds like can't make his mind up.
That's right. That's right.
And yes, speaking of new faces, there we have when my mouse
All
will
right.
decide to work.
Hey,
Duchess
good
of
to see you.
Darkness, milady. Good
Yes.
having you in there today.
Fantastic.
And of course, she's another creative person there with her
Yeah.
story times there, telling
That's right.
the old scary stories for the midnight hour or the witching hour, I believe you say.
That's right. That's not easy.
Oh,
She
yes,
does a great
I
job.
always have to keep my candle holder with me so I can light the hallways when I'm walking back to my bed chambers there. All the shadows dancing about and.
Oh, I seriously, like sometimes sometimes those episodes on Duchess's channel are a little too scary for me. I get a little bit freaked out. That's good.
Keeps the hearts alive, though.
That's right. Absolutely.
All right. In your younger years, did you ever move about quite a bit, or have any journeys there?
That's a good question. I didn't really get a chance to travel a lot. Well, no, I did. I mean, I did off and on. When I hit eighth grade, I got to go and travel a little bit. Went to Australia and spent a day in New Zealand.
Oh, you're down under there.
Yeah, and
you got it, mate.
Yeah, exactly. And then when I was older, I worked a little bit on my English literature degree for a semester in England. And then, but I changed that. I changed my mind and started working on art immediately. But yeah, I traveled a little bit, and I lived in New York for a little bit, making artwork and working at little jobs over there, and then and lived in Los Angeles for a little bit. So I've traveled around a little bit.
Is that the town that never sleeps, I hear?
Yeah, with both of those towns, I think, never sleep. But yeah,
busy.
Yeah. I mean, I've enjoyed those times, and I haven't made it out to Eternia yet, but it's on my list.
Oh, yes, we're still here.
Yeah.
And so, when you were again growing up there, what toys give you fond memories there, and did you collect much?
Yeah, I grew up in a rural area, and I spent a lot of time outside playing by myself, and
also the old farmland there, is it?
Yeah, like foothills, Central California, and we had my family had a Christmas tree farm up in the foothills, and I spent a lot of time by myself up there, to be honest, and I spent a lot of time just exploring. And I'm lucky I didn't get bit by a rattlesnake or something, but it was fine.
The old cryptids you have lurking about over there.
Yeah, I didn't run into any big feet or anything. No Sasquatch encounters. But I did play a lot.
Although I suppose they have children too, so you might have seen some little feet as well.
I might have played with a few of the Sasquatch children, actually. Yeah, that's true. There were some hairy kids up there. So
yes. You never know then.
You never know, exactly. But yeah, to answer your question, I spent a lot of time with the toys that I had. that I'd get Masters of the Universe toys either with my minimal allowance, or I'd get something for my birthday, or a Star Wars toy here and there. And once Empire Strikes Back hit, I was all about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Once Masters of the Universe cartoons started, showing up on the TV, I got really interested in that. But yeah, I spent a lot of time. I think that's why this is.
I bet your parents got you to cut down a lot of the Christmas trees there to earn your pocket money.
Oh yeah, I did. I had to do a lot of things like that. Putting up fences and cutting down Christmas trees in the Christmas season, all that stuff, and earn a few dollars. And that's how I got my first trap jaw. So yeah, I spent a lot of time.
So was he your first figure for Masters there?
He was the first figure that I remember. At 47, I'm not sure if I'm remembering everything correctly, but he was the first figure that I remember buying. So I may have gotten a figure like Fisto. I don't know. Not Fisto hadn't come out yet, but may have gotten something previous to that, but I can't recall what it might have been. My most distinct memory was seeing that trap jaw on the toy floor. Hi, Bastien, and buying that.
Good evening, there, Bastien, sir.
Yeah, great to see you. And buying that trap jaw, yeah.
So, did you have much in the way of a collection when you were that young, or did you just play with what you had and put them back in the box, or what have you? But I suppose you spent most of your time, as you said, exploring the woods there, the whispering woods. You might say
a little bit of both. A little bit of both. I think I think my parents really wanted me to be entertained, so they were happy to get me little things here and there, and so I did have toys, and I played a lot with those toys. But I did spend a lot of time outside building forts for those toys, and creating scenarios out there. So that's how I spent most of my time out there.
And yes, it sounds like you worked hard for a lot of that entertainment there, or the toys you had. So it's good. So I suppose when you were at that age, did you have any idea there of what you wanted to be when you were growing up there? So
that's a good question. I kind of wanted to be involved in movies. I wanted to do special effects and makeup. Once middle school rolled around, once I was like 10, 11, 12, I started really wanting to. How's it going, Rancid? I really wanted to make things from a very early age. All right, J Mac, good to see you.
So what, like woodwork or something, or metalwork, or just all sorts?
No, mainly like I wanted to make art. I wanted to make art, and I wanted to do special effects makeup. I wanted to make
movies there.
Yeah, I wanted to make latex masks. I wanted to, I discovered I discovered Freddy Krueger and wanted to do special effects makeup, and I became.
So I wonder where all my knives went in my knife drawer there.
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose your mum asked you that a few times. Indeed.
I imagine she was worried, but she figured out a way to sort of like subdue that worry and just sort of let me explore that stuff. I don't know how, but
she'd probably be cooking dinner one day, and she reaches for the spatula. Where's that spatula gone there? Oh,
yeah,
I bet Skele Vader's got it in his one of his projects there.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, As you know, since you're a creative, you know that the urgency to create comes pretty early on, and it's hard to identify
Yes.
when that first happens. But I think it all starts with fort building and
Oh yes.
creating environments for your toys or for the for yourself. I mean, I love putting cardboard boxes together to make multi-layered forts. I just love doing that.
Did you ever stay at your grandparents, perhaps, and your grandfather or grandmother might have kept some cardboard aside and have you crafting when you went to visit or
Yeah,
whatever? I know that's what my grandfather did for me there, and of course I recall building the old fort or two out in the
yeah.
backyard. One time we had a bit of a blanket over a couple of chairs there, and then Cringer decided to explore and jump on top, and it all, of course, collapsed down on top of it there.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I have one of my fondest memories is my dad brought home a refrigerator box, and turning that into sort of this
Oh, yeah.
epic big fort was really exciting for me. That was cool.
It's
Duct
usually
tape.
bigger the boxes, the better there.
Yeah,
Make something good out of those. Bit of a
yeah,
tunnel.
yeah. You found the
Good
refrigerator
evening there,
box.
J Max, sir.
Yeah, J Mac, good to see you. Yeah, that's a fond memory. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we've covered most of the younger years there.
Yeah.
Now, tell us about how you got into your art predominantly there. Of course, no doubt you picked up a lot of things at the old in the old classroom there.
Yeah, I did. I got my bachelor's degree in visual art and in painting, so I spent a lot of time making paintings and sculptures that incorporated the aspects of painting, and uh, working in. I did a lot of when I lived in New York, and I worked at galleries. I lived in LA. I worked at a few galleries as well. Working in art galleries and setting up shows and having experience with a little bit of experience with carpentry and stuff like that. And making art and trying new things with art really was a great, a great way to get started with thinking about three-dimensionality and making models, which I've done later on. But
Oh
yeah,
yes.
I started off as I wanted to be a painter. When I moved to New York, I tried to, I shopped my artwork around and set up a few art shows and had a couple of art shows in Los Angeles. And
Did you manage to sell any of it there, or did you just have it on display?
yeah, I've sold a bunch of pieces in my, during the years where I was making artwork, when I was making a lot of artwork and exhibiting more frequently. I've sold several things. But it's I've never been good at pricing my work, so I'd always undersell. I'd always sell them for much more at a much
Well,
more
you're not
affordable
alone
price.
there, sir. We all have that feeling. We know
Yes,
that.
yeah, I still suffer from that a little bit, but it's difficult. It's difficult to put a price on something that you make, and for me, it's always been more exciting for the work that I make to go through its journey with me, but then move on to another life without me, where someone can appreciate it from a different perspective. I can only appreciate what I make to a certain extent, and then it only serves to remind me of that experience. But someone else can buy that or to own that or take it off of my hands, and then it becomes part of their experiences and can be incorporated into their
Yes, I
family.
suppose they see value in it to begin
Yeah,
with, and then when they decide to buy it off you. So
I
yes, it's good to
I
get
hope.
your pieces out there and your names. So So when we're all long gone, there you still have the usually the yacht goes up in value.
Yeah,
When we've hit the dust there, but
I think about that.
but yes,
You know,
a treasure indeed for someone else.
as a toy collector, as you know, as a toy collector and as a maker, that's the question we always have to ask ourselves: why make things that stick around, and why collect things that stick around? It becomes this real conflict, or it should be like, why are we creating things that do not go away or will not go away after a long period of time? Why do we collect? And I think part of it is that it's the urgency to kind of share a story that goes on beyond us, an urgency to exist after we pass, perhaps. I don't know, but it's a really
It all usually gets dealt with
yeah.
when we pass on, as it were, somehow. But
I worry
it's
about
just
that.
good to have
I
a
don't
bit
want.
of
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't want our daughters to have to deal with all this stuff after I'm gone. But
They hold a garage sale or two there in a bit of pocket money.
garage sale, exactly. Hopefully, they're smarter with
But
some of these things back
usually
there.
the
But
family is inclined to keep a few mementos
I hope so. I hope
and
so.
whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Something that reminds them of you. Yes, my grandfather passed away, as most of
Mm.
you know. So I
Yeah,
inherited all his. Elder Bob inherited all his art
yeah.
easel there, and big roll of canvas and all his paints and what have you, and a couple of tools there.
That's
And
wonderful.
yes,
The legacy lives on, right? And that's really cool. That's a beautiful thing.
indeed. So recently you had a bit of a art exhibition on there. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about what got you started on that.
Well,
Did you see a
there
bit of a
were
town flyer go around there announcing the event, or
yeah. I did in last January, yeah. Um, I decided to exhibit my Masters of the Universe builds. So the play sets that and following that up in February, I exhibited my artwork. So what we're looking at here, these are abstract paintings and sculptures that I exhibited in February 2023. That's cool that you can zoom in there. That's neat.
oh yes, the technology is marvelous these days.
Technology is like, yeah, it blows my mind sometimes.
Mhm.
I feel like we're in Blade Runner and we're zooming into the
It saves the old magic hands there.
exactly,
Indeed.
exactly. So these are oil paintings. So back when I was mentioning to you earlier, when I got my bachelor's degree in
Oh, so is
painting,
this all your space in the background there, sir?
I wish. This is a gallery in Fresno, California,
All right.
and they have different exhibits every month. And so for the month of February, I exhibited this here, and we'll get to it, I'm sure. But there was the previous month in January, I believe it was January. I exhibited my Masters of the Universe sculptures at the same venue. And this is
All right.
this is a new one. This is the newest Snake
Yes,
Mountain.
this was your recent one for many, I believe.
Yeah, Manny commissioned this. He lives about 2.5 hours away from here, 2 hours away from here. He commissioned this, and
That was after he saw your exhibition, no doubt. I think
that's right. Yeah, not the contemporary art exhibition that we just looked at, but the Masters of the Universe exhibition. Yeah, he saw images of that online. He watched my videos of making my previous Snake Mountains. We have images of that stuff here.
It's rather
tonight.
impressive scale there, indeed.
Yeah, it's 4 feet tall by 4 feet wide and 2.5 feet deep. So it's quite an object. And that for
Yes,
those,
I saw the we show video there you did when you took it around to his place and he had all his other things set up. So
yeah,
he enjoyed setting all his figures up in that one.
Yeah, he has an extraordinary collection.
Mm.
If you're watching this and you haven't gone over to my channel to watch that walkthrough of his collection when I delivered this thing, you should definitely go check that out, folks.
Oh,
It's
indeed.
pretty cool.
Before we move on, though, we missed a question there, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Where is it? Going back to the old refrigerator boxes there.
Oh, yeah.
I did that with my grandparents' refrigerator while they were gone. Threw out the food and dragged it outside in the wood nearby and used it as a fort. My grandmother wanted to kill me. She took the whole refrigerator out there, not the box.
Not the box, the whole refrigerator. That's amazing. That's amazing, Pop Actor. That's cool. That is a bold move.
Sebastian is rather stunned by your Snake Mountain there.
Thank you very much. That's all styrofoam, plaster, air dry clay, resin, wood, and a few other things that I cobble together, but obviously paint and stuff like that. But this is loosely based on, I know you know this, Eldor, already, but for those of you that don't know, it's Manny, the guy who commissioned this. He wanted to incorporate aspects of the vintage toy, the vintage play set, the Filmation cartoon, and the Super 7 play set. So the challenge.
Yes, I don't think the Filmation ever had the demon head on the side.
No, it did not. Yeah. In fact, the Filmation, the play set that we're going to look at in a little bit, my first big Snake Mountain build was based physically on the Filmation cartoon, and this one is physically based on the play sets, but also a little bit of the Filmation cartoon, and then the color is the Filmation color, the Filmation green, blue, grayish, greenish blue. And I probably should have done that with my Filmation inspired Snake Mountain, but I used the playset colors for the Filmation Snake Mountain. What's great about a commission like this is that I conversed with Manny over the months when I was working on this to try and figure out what he really wanted. And when an artist is making something for you, you can determine what it's going to be, what it's going to look like, the scale, the materials, the colors. He wanted the demon to be a little bit more vicious, yet he also wanted the spires of the Snake Mountain to look more reminiscent of the Filmation cartoon.
Or spike in there.
Yeah, he wanted the wolf head on there, and the stairs going up, and the bridge from the Super 7 play set. But I kind of surprised them a little bit with the lava falls turning into a kind of meandering river of lava.
Yes, I was rather impressed by how you went about doing your lava there, using the old resin and creating a bit of depth on the inner side or the back side around there, and how you made your lava falls there. Yes, that's one I have to tackle for my origins. Snake Mountain soon, but I'll be using a clear warbler deco art.
That's
they're thermoplastic. No doubt you already know about that material, but yes, a bit of clear, and you can color it using oil paint there. You just put a little bit in there. You don't need too much. Mind you, if you want a light to shine through there, and you just need it into the plastic while it's still fairly hot, of course. And you've colored your warbler there. You can make gemstones and all sorts, but yes, I'll be using that stuff to create my own lava effect there.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that for my origins too, my origins Snake Mountain as well, because and also for my vintage one too. That scene or that area where the joints are, or where the hinges are, it's just an empty space. It's just such a
the lava falls does add a bit more extra dimension to the whole scene.
Absolutely, really makes it come together. So I'm thinking about doing that too.
Yes, so Mr. Home Arcade, he got his off a fellow off Etsy there, but I think he sold it so well, the fellow sold out.
Yeah, and
that
I
was
guess
for the vintage set there.
yeah, I think the fellow on Etsy that Home Arcade utilized is making more. I heard, and also
Oh, no doubt.
I
Yeah.
think he's making some to scale with the Origins because it's just it's just a little bit taller.
Oh yes, because they
than the
scaled it all
vintage.
up with the new
Yeah,
stuff, and also
yeah,
you have a little cut hole at
yeah.
the top, just above the demon head, so you
Yep,
could
that's
have
right.
it look like it's coming out of that hole there. That would look rather neat there,
So
which I
cool.
plan to
Yeah,
do, of course. Yeah.
yeah. It's really great.
So I'm hopefully looking at building a bit of a so not as so much as how you did your lava falls, but making a bit of a form up. So you have the top part where the lava comes out on the top, and then
Yeah.
have it sort of going straight down. So I'm going to build a bit of a cardboard form. But usually when I work with this warbler stuff, I seal the cardboard with a bit of masking tape, so it's
Yes.
easy to pull it away from the plastic once it's all set and what have
Absolutely.
you. So have it all, and you can bubble it up there with a few sculpting tools to make your your lava streaks there and what
Yeah,
have you.
that
Or you
sounds
can
like
also use EVA foam too to make a sort of a mold. You had to glue a few parts together, of course, and you can gouge out your streak marks on the
Yep.
surface where your warbler will go through, and you just sort of press the warbler into making it sort of a push mold, if you will.
Yeah.
And then once it's in there, you just pull the EVA foam away, and you got your Caldo's your uncle. You got your lava falls there.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great concept. So for my lava falls, I poured resin on a plastic sheet, and then I had to wait about 5 hours for it
Yes.
to become a little bit more solid, and then I put it on an angle, so I would have that platform, that pool at the top, and then it would pour over or
Yes,
look like
while
it's
the
pouring
resin is
over.
still a bit soft, I believe.
Yes, and then the resin hardens beyond that though, and so yeah, I kind of did the same thing, but I think your plan is more utilitarian, or it'll be more efficient, I think, and
But
take
another
less
thing
time.
too, if you have any excess coloured resin in your bottle, when it's almost semi-set, you can put little drips,
Oh yeah,
or runs going down the resin you already have, and usually that sticks or sets hard, and
yep,
you've got your running streaking lava there.
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. So what else have you got on your slides there, Skele Vader?
So let's see. The next slide here is this is me back when after I had completed my very first Snake Mountain. So this is the first one, and this is
Yes,
obviously
different colour there.
yeah, I've improved upon some of the aspects with this one since then, but this is more like, as you can see on the left hand side of this Snake Mountain, it's more inspired by the Filmation. It's leaning a lot more toward the Filmation style
Yes.
Snake Mountain. Of course, I have the demon head again on the right hand side, right? But and this paint or this lava is painted air dry clay, so it's to try and get that liquid look. But it was my first attempt, and then back there behind me is the
Castle Grayskull there.
Castle Grayskull, and the Castle Grayskull was my very first build, and that's when I started building that. Our daughters were like, "You should put some of this on YouTube," and that's what started the Skele Vader channel, actually.
Oh,
So my very first two videos are documenting the Grayskull build a little bit. Those videos are very primitive, of course. I was just getting started, but the Grayskull, I still, the person who purchased it didn't have room for it any longer, so it's back here in my garage.
You got it back there.
Got it back, and I'm okay
Yes, I
with
see
that.
you built the caves underneath there.
Yeah, I built the caves underneath. Yeah, for sure.
And there's my room up there.
There's your room. Yeah, for sure. And
Sounds like the front door open again. It's getting a bit chilly.
That's right. And I keep thinking if I ever have a designated room where I can expand the universe around this, that I want to have the walkway up to the jaw bridge, and build that archway, and maybe work on Gray Skull, improve it a little bit. This is my first build, so I see a lot of room for improvement.
And indeed, we've seen you hard at work there.
Oh yeah,
over the past, and you've been building things together. So I believe this was the first Snake Mountain you're working on here?
That's the first Snake Mountain, and
oh, you're not feeling that tired there. Look how fast you're going.
I know. I'm really like had a lot of coffee.
You got too much candy there, sir.
Yeah, candy and
had
coffee.
Too much sugar.
That's right. But it was a lot of fun. The Snake Mountain was an experiment. Like, could I do it? That was the first thought that I had, was like, can I make this thing be, just a little over 4 feet tall, just a little over 4 feet wide? Can I have it be a place where action figures can be displayed on the inside? So there are some images that I have here that show the inside of it, but this is like, it was a lot of fun, and you've taken a lot of risks, and
taking the time to see how you can work everything out. Obviously, you wanted to incorporate a bit of a play scene or play features in the back there where you can display all the figures. So I'm working in a lot of that, and also how everything goes together structurally, sound, of course. So you mentioned how you use a lot of wood, and I see you've also used the chicken wire wrapped around there to make the snake, which is usually something you pick up when you go through your art schools there.
Chicken wire with plaster cloth and layers of plaster over it, and then air dry clay for the skin. That is something that you pick up learning sculptural techniques, really it came from learning a little bit about facade making. I've spent a lot of time as a kid being obsessed with amusement parks and those facades.
Oh, yes.
And how they were made,
the decorations they have up there, and what have
exactly.
you. I believe Mattel. I don't know if they've launched it yet, but they're Mattel World or something, and they've got a bigger structure of a Castle Grayskull made up there, using a similar technique on the top towers. Than what I used in a wee piece that I had built to decorate my shelves with. So I was rather fascinated to see they used a similar method to make it look like you're actually looking up at something big. So it made the top turrets kind of warped there. If you're looking on it, on it straight on, but when you look up at it, it looks like you're looking at a very tall structure. And then
it's amazing.
A He-Man and Skeletor. Big versions of those figures there.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I'm excited. Well, that place is going to launch, I think, next summer or something like that. I'm excited.
Still a bit of work to go, I believe, to get everything sorted out there. I don't think they're just doing a He-Man. Of course, they might be doing Barbie and all the other properties they own. Maybe a bit of Hot Wheels there, a Hot Wheels ride.
Yeah, I think it's about a 10-hour drive from me. Might be worth driving over there.
A bit of a road trip there. Why not?
Yeah, a toy frenzy road trip maybe.
Oh yes, indeed. When we just had Oz do his road runner to PowerCon there.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. This is the three of them, and Fright. So the snake. This is the Fright Zone, sort of at its earliest stage. I don't have any other pictures of the Fright Zone, unfortunately, in this slideshow.
I've got you sorted there. In fact, I'm just moving to one of the share screen.
Good, cool.
There.
So I wanted to see what these all look like together, and they look pretty. It's fun. And this is me. Yeah. Oh, good. This is me building the Fright Zone.
Getting a sore hand by the looks of it too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ooh. So when you make something like this, and there's the Matterhorn behind me, behind the build. I built a Matterhorn too.
Yes.
But this, I use a lot of styrofoam, and then I coat that with plaster and Mod Podge, and then on top of that coating, I use exterior primer, which seals it all in. And because when you're building play sets like this, at least for me, when I'm building play sets like this, I want them to have functionality and to be able to play with them, to actually play with them, and put figures on them and stomp them around and not break the thing. So
Yes,
I try to make
be
these
fairly sturdy, I suppose.
Yeah, I try to make them as sturdy as possible. That's me beginning to make
the old chicken wire there, as we mentioned before.
Yeah, this is me making the beast monster, which is the hand puppet.
Oh yes, the old.
And started off with chicken wire and spray foam, and then you carve away at that and make the beast monster.
Indeed, I noticed you used that foam in your latest build. Did you also do it in the second Snake Mountain there?
Yeah,
plaster
the foam comes in really handy. It's unfortunately about $3 a can. So that I don't buy the expensive stuff. I buy the cheap stuff, but that really sort of, you want to use it sparingly. And this is not a good example of that, of course, but
yes, because usually you build up an inner core first, so you're saving on material and not using everything.
And you don't want to overuse it. You can carve away and add a little bit in, carve away and add a little bit in. But it's hard.
You expect to have a bit of waste in these situations.
You do, although I am really.
But if you can reuse it though, maybe a bit of a rock, a piece or something.
I try to be very careful about the waste, because I know that if I'm going to do something again, if I'm going to do another build, I'm going to have these extra materials to use, and that'll save me some money. Thanos actually came to the show. Thanos came to the exhibit where Fright Zone and Snake Mountain and Castle Grayskull were all exhibited. It was really great to meet Thanos in person. He saw them up close. That's cool. I'm glad you pulled up that video. It's funny.
Of course, it was interesting to see you going about your work there.
Yeah, thank you. And so, this is going back in time a little bit. Sorry about my slides; they're a little bit back and forth in time. But
well, you're right there. I'm in the future, a few days ahead of you, anyway. So
that's right. That's right. Who needs time?
Of course, yes.
I love taking these out. When I first got this done and first got the Snake Mountain done, it was so much fun to take them out to locations and take photos.
So did you use wood in the old drawbridge there? So
I did. I used balsa wood, and I created.
Of course, I suppose you hinged it all in this. So you need a fairly strong base to attach all that in.
That's right. The sculptural work on the outside is air dry clay that I spray painted gold, and then the hinges are gold hinges, brass hinges.
Like you use on a jewelry box or something to woodwork project, perhaps.
Exactly. And I got it so that the drawbridge could open and close, and
you got the basement there too.
Yeah, I got the cave basement, the creepy cave basement. Yeah. Yep.
Yes, extra level of adventure there. You can explore underneath Castle Grayskull and the old crystal caves, perhaps, where He-Man draws his power out from, or go into the old dungeon there with the old Orlax and all the other fellows, or perhaps travel to Subternia there and be scared by old Scareglow.
Absolutely, yeah, and and this is still as you can see here with these Origins figures, this is still at the beginning stages. We'd only had a few waves of the Origins figures at this point, so it's really exciting to look back on this and remember how cool it was when Trapjaw first came out, and when we got
yes, I missed out on him, and of course Triclops, but I managed to find old Triclops there on a bit of a secondary sale, who's always quite expensive.
Yeah, unfortunately, I know.
But yes, indeed, we had plenty of evil in the first look of a merman there. Of course, we got the Lords of Power version
Yeah,
shortly
yes.
after that.
But
But
this
indeed, I
version,
got Trapjaw in a bit of a trade with Adam from Medical Toys there, so
oh,
that was
good,
another
good.
name off the list.
That's great. Yeah, that merman, the merman based on the toy, seemed to have been a hard one to find too.
Oh yes. He lingered a little bit over here, mostly online though.
Yeah, yes. And so this is this smaller snake mountain that we're looking at here. This is my very first commission.
Oh yes, yes.
So so I was commissioned by someone to make a smaller one so that it could be shipped across the country, and that was terrifying and quite expensive to ship, even though it doesn't look huge here, but you know, when you get a box and you got all the padding and everything that goes into it.
Yes, that all that protection, yes, adds to the height of the eventual box, and I suppose it's got to be done, really.
Yeah, but I really liked the head sculpt for this snake mountain. You know, because each of these are done by hand, they're every single aspect
it's going to be unique. Yes,
it's going to be
the same.
unique. Yeah. And I really, looking back on these pictures of that snake head makes me feel like, oh yeah, it was such a cool version of it. But yeah, that one is in a good collection somewhere. And it's awesome. Actually, he sent me an image of this not too long ago with his finished collection.
I'll keep you updated on how it's going there.
Yeah, and it looks good. It's good.
So yes, so that was that's more the Filmation looking one there.
Yeah,
mountain.
That's right. Aiming for the Filmation style. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yes, fantastic there. Nice popping colors, the purple and the green.
I love purple and green. It's just it works out, and I think I love purple and green because of the Snake Mountain playset from when I was a kid.
Yes, the Joker colors there.
Yeah, Joker color. And you know, I went through a whole thing where I was totally obsessed with Jack Nicholson's Joker in 1989, and it's all connected. Yeah.
The old was it 66 or something? Batman
Joker.
Yeah,
Cesar Romero. Yeah.
Yeah, Caesar there. Oh, Caesar, the old clown.
That's right. I love that version of the Joker, and those
I liked how he sprung himself out of jail there one time. They're playing a ball game.
It's so funny.
He's on the home run pad, and it was a bit of a spring under it.
Yep, it's hilarious. It's great stuff. That 66 series, the colors just are so vibrant.
The older angles were a bit strange there too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. 100%. Do you have any? I'm curious. Do you have any more pictures of the? Do you happen to have any pictures of the exhibit?
Yes, I do have a close up there of the one of your snakeheads. It might even be this one, I think. And there we are. Don't worry, we weren't frozen.
We are here. Oh yeah, that's good. That's the newest snakehead.
Oh, the new version.
Yeah, the new version. You know what? Looking at this now, though, I'm like, wow, this one's really cool too. I ended up putting jewels in the eyes so that they would reflect light.
Made a bit of a socket there. I see.
Yeah, I ended up putting red jewels in there, which turned out pretty cool. Yeah, I'm happy with the way this one turned out too. It's exciting to do. I don't know if you've done this yet, Eldor, but when you make the same thing 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a row,
it gets a bit tedious.
It gets tedious, but it's exciting to see like how you can polish.
How much more cleaner or
how
much more perfection you can put into it, I suppose.
Yeah, how the thing might evolve, and I like.
Yes, I was kind of thinking about how I could add teeth to a T-Rex head there. And of course, I made little plugs, and of course, little plug holes around the gum base.
Yeah.
And these sort of plug holes were kind of like a bit of a V, an upside down V shape. Well, on the right side, yes, a V shape rather. So it would catch once it's gone through the hole. The sides would catch underneath there. So it's made of a soft foam, so it's easy to push them through. And yes, I molded a foam clay around the main stem of the tooth there. I made it a little bit smaller there because, of course, the foam clay adds a bit more thickness there. So I made the main shape of the teeth there, and you could just I had to number them, so I got all the teeth in the right place there and just sort of plugged them in around the gum base.
That's brilliant.
And of course, if one gets damaged, you just pull it out there and make a new one.
and here I am over here holding the teeth in as the glue dries. Yeah, so that's brilliant.
Painful indeed.
It is, but it's live and learn, and each time I do it, it gets a little easier, and I figure out a better way to do it, just like you did with your
Does your snake head is it built around a bit of a structure like the body with the chicken wire, or is it just a free piece of clay or what have you there?
I begin with a very basic styrofoam shape, and I use shish kebab. Yeah, shish kebab skewers to sort of hold the pieces together and glue.
Oh, right. Yes, I was going to say, I was wondering if you use any sort of internal form there, like you do when you've got a bit of a concrete building with all the spikes, coming up. And what have you.
Exactly. It's like
I use strength to the tooth. So you did.
I use shish kebab skewers as kind of rebar for all of these things. I go through those like crazy. But yeah,
I better left your wife rather perplexed. Where's my skewers gone?
Yeah, exactly. Our household has a skewer agreement. So yeah, that helps. But I begin with the styrofoam shape, and then I build on top of that with air dry clay. I love air dry clay. Hey, Sergeant Slaughterhouse.
Sergeant Slaughter, I missed you there. How did I do that?
Fantastic. Good to see you.
Good evening there.
Yeah. And then, previous or in between Castle Greyskull and Snake Mountain, I spent a lot of time just sort of making these little paintings. This is my rendition. That's Skele Vader. Skele Vader. I participated in the Podcasters of the Universe. They have a create a character contest every year, every couple of years.
Those are always fun.
Those are fun, yeah. And so I participated one year, and I brought in. I thought it was funny to have the Havoc staff be a stormtrooper helmet, but there's some more of Snake Mountain and Greyskull.
Oh, so there's a bit of a comparison there, I suppose, of the size.
And here's the interior of Snake Mountain.
Yes.
I'm glad that I forgot what order I had these in, but those are the demon heads on the wall. Oh, Kenzo, I use DAS. DAS.
Yes, we had that here. Yeah.
DAS. Epoxy Sculpt is great too. DAS is really easy to work with, and it dries.
It's not too expensive either. You can buy.
It's not too expensive, but it doesn't crumble. It dries rock hard. It's awesome. I love DAS. I highly recommend it. And those demon faces inside of Snake Mountain are all DAS air dry clay demon faces. Same thing with the wolf.
I suppose they won't need too much form structure. You just sculpt them out there and stick it to the walls.
Yeah, just glue them on and blend them in. I make the air dry clay faces before I prime, so that they bond a little bit easier to the raw plaster that's on the inside.
Yes, usually when you're connecting to different surfaces there. Say if you're doing clay on clay,
Yeah.
you might rough the surface up a little bit so it has a bit of a bonding tooth
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly.
But definitely, if you're joining clay onto something else, you'd probably have to do it separately.
Yeah, that's a good word, tooth. Like you want to make sure that if you're putting things together, that there's a way for them to grip to one another, for sure. Oh, and then back to the newest Snake Mountain. This is a close up of the classics Club Gray Skull Filmation trap jaw standing inside there, so you can see the scale. That's it really, you make things like this and you can really sort of, create photo stages, and it's fun. Oh, and then this is
Mossy Boy there, the old competition one you did.
Yeah, I
did you find a fellow for that one?
I tried to find someone out there that'd be willing to trade this Mossman painting for a Mossman Origins action figure, because I wasn't finding him, and I didn't want to pay an exorbitant amount. I didn't want to pay I didn't want to pay more than 40, to be honest with you. So
Axion found a few for us there.
Yeah,
and, might cost around $60 there.
Yeah,
another 70 in shipping. But yes, the first time we tried to ship that off, it got sent back to him. Apparently, he didn't. A plastic toy wasn't enough description for the old customs folk there.
That's so frustrating.
Lucky his son caught it when it was delivered back to him. So he tried again sometime after PowerCon, but now he's been stuck in attorney at customs for about a week now. So he still hasn't moved.
Frustrating. And that's
the old smell. We think the old snifter hounds there.
That's right. They smell that. They're like, what is in there?
I feel Mattel, why if you just flopped the figure, that would have been fine. Usually, but in these days, usually the old smells tend to raise the ire of the old customs police there.
That's right, for sure. and on top of that, it's not the typical like air freshener pine scent that the original one had. This smell that the new Mossman comes with is more of like a tea tree oil. So it has a kind of unusual scent. And I can see why customs might be like, what the heck is in here? Is there turpentine in there? Like, what is in there?
Yes, Axion did mention that my figure smelled a bit more stronger than the other ones he had sent out there.
That's good. That's a good thing. Once you get it, you'll be happy that it is that way.
But yes, he helped out Bill there from Weird Fantastic Toys. And Adam at first, but then Adam had to pull out, but he managed to get a one from another fellow, I think. So yes, I had another friend, Retro Bacon, there on the old IG. So I mentioned to her, and so she contacted Axion, and he sent that out to her, and she got that the other day there. So that was good to help her out there.
Yeah, that's good, and so much of the community came together for Mossy, and then finally, I came across him, and so I didn't have to keep trying to pawn this off on anybody who wanted to trade. In fact, I'm kind of glad because I still have him, and
there he goes.
I'm really proud. I'm really proud of this painting. I kind of love what happened here. They've got the layers of spray paint and then the acrylic paint on top of that, and so there's a kind of looseness. There's a kind of painterly aspect to it, and there's a lot of depth to it. And I kind of feel like I'm happy that I have it still. And there it is. Yeah, so I use stencils and layers of spray paint, and then layers of acrylic, brushed on acrylic.
Something nice and quick there, but still looks effective and rather good.
Yeah, it took, I've been practicing this technique for a while. So the more you do it, the more comfortable you become with it.
Next, you'll be throwing the paint at stuff like some artists do there.
Yeah, I might just be
slap hands.
I know. I might just take this to the streets. I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of Banksy technique happening here. So yeah, it's
something very novel about it, also.
Yeah, very much so. I'm glad you found that.
Oh, indeed. Good to see how you work there.
Yeah.
Bit too fast for me, but
yeah, you can't really. It's hard to tell like exactly how long it takes when you do time lapse photography, but.
It's a bit of a trick there, I see. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it had me wondering there.
Kenzo is actually saying that too, that it's a pretty odd smell. It is an odd smell. It's like I don't know if any of you are familiar with I think it's Dr. Bromer's like soap. I think it's Dr. Bromer's. They claim to be like an all natural soap. I don't really
not a doctor I'm cross paths with.
No, not yet.
With Doctor Who, though.
Doctor Who, yeah, it's not Doctor Who soap, but they do have a tea tree soap that kind of has a very similar. Oh, Pop Actor, that's really sweet of you. That's sweet of you. I got to. Well, that makes me think I got to get a very like Baroque, enormous Baroque.
Maybe cute for another exhibition there, sir.
Yeah, maybe the next exhibition. Maybe I'll do more of these. I think I'll try and do more of these. That's very nice of you, Rick. Pop Actor.
Indeed, yes.
And these are what I did a few years back. These are what I call Motu Misfits, and they're more stylized.
Not looking too bad there, sir.
Thank you. They're a little bit more stylized, and I use gouache, which is a kind of deep pigment watercolor, and I paint them on little pieces of wood, and I did a few trades with these web store and.
So were there two separate canvases there, bits of wood there, and you just hang them up?
Yeah, too bad are two separate pieces.
So one of my family members had a painting such as that, but it was 3 frames.
That's cool.
Side by side, that made up the full picture there.
Yeah, triptych.
Bit of a nighttime setting.
That's great.
One of those platform pieces you get in the parks there, like in The Sound of Music, was it? One of those ones when she's turning 19 or whatever the song was there, and they're in that sort of a fancy building you'd have in a park. So it's a bit of a scene like that.
Yeah, that's great. That's cool.
So would you hang them butt on like that, or just slightly parted?
They're perfect for just putting on the shelf. You put them right next to your toys, or put them on a bookshelf and lean them against the wall, or lean them against objects. They're so small. They're only about this big.
Oh, I see.
And so you just put them anywhere. You can put them inside of a frame if you want. But for me, I don't have any of these anymore because I found homes really fast, either through trades or people would buy them. They're only, I was selling them for like $25 a piece. And then here's 2 different Beastmen. One is doubled up here, but I have a lot of fun making these sort of like very like loosely rendered, stylized versions of the characters.
Yes, Eldor Bob did a painting there of the exploding rocks that you associate Master Universe with, and indeed the packaging. So that was done on a nice big board there, and I've got that just resting against the wall. I put a couple of foam strips, like the stuff you put around windows and what have you. To protect the walls there while it's leaning against the wall. And so I had that on a bit of a shelf base there with some of the figures and the exclusive boxed Mattel Creations figures displayed in front of that.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant.
But I do aim to have it hinged off the shelf that has my Castle Grayskull decoration on top of it. So it's a bit more sitting higher up. And then I plan to put a couple of those 3M hooks in there to hook some of the Origins carded figures in when I get to it.
Oh, that'll be awesome. That'll be great. I can't wait to see that. That'll be
Oh,
cool.
indeed. Always looking at the collection there to see how you can improve things and set up that world, because indeed we see a lot of people how they arrange their collections, and they have all the usually shelves jutting out from the wall there, all painted in green, or had the moss dangling down, and we have Kenzo's creations there. He did a big mural there of Castle Grayskull on his
Yeah,
wall, and I think he had a couple of small shelves coming out there where you could put some of the figures around it and what have you.
I love that. That's so cool.
Well, if you're allowed to, I don't think if you're renting, the landlords would take too kindly to
No,
to all that
no,
stuff. Even though it would be nice
unless you just don't care, But yeah,
or find some way to hide it, perhaps, like in Matilda there.
exactly. Make little cubby holes and be able to hide them. This is Tongue Lasher based on the
All right.
Filmation version.
I was going to say Moduloc there for a minute.
Almost right, yeah.
Yes.
And
Hordak there.
and Hordak, yeah. Thank you, Thanos. I'm glad you like that. Too Bad. The Too Bad is one of my favorites too. This Skeletor was one of my favorites too. Notice he has the half boots. So I was painting him from the action figure.
Oh yes.
And then Mossman, Matt Rodriguez and Rachel Rodriguez. So Matt's got the Defenders of Eden action figures coming out.
Yes.
He has this Mossman in his collection.
Oh yes, so here's a bit of your artwork there.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yes, I sent one of my art pieces off to Photog Damien, I think he is.
Oh, that's great.
On the IG, so he got my Masters of the Universe artwork that I drew up, and had Eldor Bob colour it all in, and also sent him Transformers one I'd done a few years prior, so he got that for free, and just got that the other day. So he's waiting for a chance to roll it all out there and flatten the print that I ran off there, and so you can frame that all up. Indeed, there's a few fellows over here have done also after buying those prints off me there.
Now that's awesome. That's wonderful. It's really great to share.
Getting out and about there.
Yeah, it's great to share our work with others. And as I was saying earlier, it can't belong to us forever. I mean, it's got to go and be appreciated by others. Yeah, Pop Actor. When is that?
Long overdue.
I have two. There are really only two more figures in Origins that I feel like I need. One is Spikor, and one is Too Bad, and Too Bad hasn't even been announced yet. The rest of the characters,
I suppose they're still stuck on how to do his arms there, because you recall the vintage. It's kind of like this.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a hop, skip, and a jump for them. I think it'll be fairly easy, but who knows what they've got up their sleeves.
But you see, they've already tooled out Cyclone and Extender.
Yeah.
And yes, Spike's just come out there in the Big Bad Toy Store.
Spikor
along with Squeeze.
I'm holding off on Spikor just because I want to have that moment where I see him in the store, but that just may not.
Hopefully, as we know, Mattel's pulling all the remaining vintage stuff out from retail and going with the Filmation stuff. I suppose their strategy is that the kids have probably no doubt seen the Filmation cartoon. So usually it's the cartoons that draw the kids in. Of course, most kids nowadays don't know of the vintage figures, because they all came out before the cartoon was released.
Yeah. We shall see. We shall see how it goes.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So yes, I got Squeeze there. Put the old Squeeze on my wallet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised.
I got one for Adam there too, to complete our trade.
I'm surprised no one has done a picture. Okay, toy photographers, you can steal this idea from me. Put your wallet in Squeeze's arms. I mean, I don't know why no one's taken a picture of Squeeze squeezing the wallet. That makes this
would make for a good meme there.
Yeah, exactly. Spikor might end up like Web Store, never seen again if you don't buy it now.
I believe they're bringing Web Store out again with along with King Randor and Ninja.
That's the
sometime
rumor.
towards the end of
That's
this
the
year.
rumor.
So that's
Yeah.
another rerun of them that I pre-ordered for.
Yeah, I might just have to jump on Spikor. He's one of my favorites, but I have my vintage one, and I love him. I love him, but I feel like when it comes to the Origins figures, he's one that I feel like I probably regret not having him. So he looks
I've
great.
seen the vintage Spikor pop up for sale every now and then, reasonably complete.
Yep.
And of course, I bought a spare one on the Masterverse Spikor to use in my Voltec custom figure. But the fellow sent me out Stinkor by mistake first, and I had to contact him saying, "Oh, you sent me Stinkor instead of a Spikor." So he said, "Oh, keep that figure, then I'll send you out the proper figure."
Oh,
so
that's
it arrived the
cool.
other day.
That's great.
I got
What
an
a nice
extra bit of
guy.
custom fodder there.
Yeah. Well, I love Spikor and Stinkor. Of all the Revelation Masterverse figures, these are the two that Stinkor and Spikor are the two that I am most impressed by. They're really great. I mean, look at that face sculpt on this guy. I mean, it's so good, you know.
It's so sinister.
He's fantastic.
He's giving you
Sinister.
the look there.
Yeah, he's great. And I think that might be it for the picture. Oh no, there's Orko and Stinkor. Yeah, so
yes, Orko there.
Orko
He's got his sneaky sneakers on.
Yeah. So the very first and only PowerCon I ever went to was the last one in Anaheim, and oh, that's horrible. I can't. Do you remember the name of the actor who's playing Orko right now?
No.
In Revelation. I can't remember.
Not something I've caught up with. I know they changed the actor for Tila there, though.
Yeah, they did. They did change the actor for Tila. I can't remember the actor's name. Anybody in the chat remember the actor's name who plays Orko? I can't remember his name. But he was at PowerCon, and I had this Orko painting with me, and I gave it to him because I think he's doing an amazing job. Yeah. An amazing job as Orko. It's a shame I can't remember his name right now.
Well, just going back to when I mentioned the old doctors there. We had Colin Baker come over to here one year at one of our cons when they were still doing that show in Eternia there, and so I got a photo with him. But beforehand, I had sculpted a little bust up, no bigger than that of him, and I gave him that. And usually, you have to pay for photos, but I thought it was getting near the end of the show, and I thought I'll try and ask him if he'd like to have a photo with my Dalek prop there.
Yeah.
So he got up there and we took the photo, and yes, it was good. And we also have another Doctor Who actor living here, Mark Strickson.
Oh, cool.
He works for Natural History New Zealand, so he does all the the filming.
Yeah.
And what have you. But he played Vislaw Turlough for the fifth Doctor Who. So he was one of his companions there.
Yeah.
And I met up with him at a car show that I had some of my props at, and he was with his sons there, and I was in the Dalek. And I said, "We used to fight each other, exterminate, and what have you."
Exterminate.
But occasionally he flies back to the UK. He does. He also does a bit of work there in the Big Finish Doctor Who audio productions that they also do there.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
So yes, there's my story there of passing on art.
I love it.
I did a painting for Sam Neill there for the Jurassic Park.
You did?
Elder Bob did, and so I gave him that when they were showing the screening of Jurassic Park 3 there. He was with
cool.
He was with a few other actors like Timmer and Morrison, as we know. It was Jango Fett in the Star Wars. And, and he was the copy for the clones, and they made copies of, and eventually Boba Fett himself in that latest show with the Mandalorian, and then his Book of Boba Fett there.
These are New Zealand legends. They're so cool that you're able to connect.
Sam Neill, he used to live near me, but I believe he's moved more inland now, and he owns a few vineyards.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
The old wine and what have you.
Yeah, good for him. That's great. Yeah.
He's keeping busy there, indeed.
Keeping busy, and at the same time, sort of just enjoying life. That's fantastic.
Aside from reprising his role in the latest Jurassic World film, he acted in one other film. Was from an old children's TV show back in the 80s there called Under the Mountain.
Oh, yes, yeah.
About these aliens that come down and what have you. So he played the part of the wise old alien, much like myself.
That's good.
For the children and that, and of course the Wilberforces they took on human form and they called themselves the Wilberforces there, but then they mutated and changed into these like big slug like creatures, much like that episode on Space 1999 when they had those slug creatures pretending to be those human people.
Oh my gosh, this is great stuff. This is great stuff. I'm gonna rewatch this tomorrow and take notes on all of your references, Eldor. That's fantastic.
Yes, I'm quite old there indeed. I've seen everything pretty much.
There you go. That's the way to be. I don't know if you were watching Toy Frenzy last night. So I think I briefly talked about this. Because Broman was talking about his stinkor that he made, and we were talking about getting patchouli oil and adding it to the figure. So this is one of the I sold by Bastian. Good to see you. Griffin Newman. Thank you, Kenzo. Griffin Newman.
Oh.
Yeah. He's really doing, say what you will about Revelation and Revolution, but Griffin Newman, if you're watching Griffin, which you're probably not, he's doing a fantastic job as Orko. He's so good.
Yes, I liked his way he voiced in there. Yes,
he's doing great. I mean, and I'm one of those people that's a fan of Orko. I am a fan of Orko. I've got a circle tattoo here.
Oh yes,
and he's one. I've always liked him. I always will like him. There's something about him that makes him that's very.
Yes, I bought a vintage Orko off a fellow last year, and I'm still waiting on him. He's having a bit of trouble getting to the post office, but as an apology, he's sending me a care package there.
Okay, good.
Epoxy putties and
there you go.
Sculpting work up there, and but yes, cool. I do have the Revelation Orko and the Super 7 vintage release that they did mint on card. I got that from a fellow in Australia. He was doing he was doing a live toy hunt there in one of those flea markets.
Yeah,
and, he was going through I believe it was a second-hand store at the time, and they had a big Motu set up with several Eternia pieces there, and several shelves underneath the main glass display that they had all that in. And I spied an Orko there, and I thought at first it might have been the Origins one, but no, it was a Super 7 carded version. So I said, "Oh no, I'll take it anyway." So he paid for that, and I paid him back, and he sent it over to me, and then that was it. That was a history, as they say.
Yeah, the Super 7 Filmation style Orko is a great figure.
I like the cardstock they used on the backing card.
Yes,
nice, strong, and
very
firm. The flimsy Origin stuff they've got now.
Right. So the stinkor here we're looking at is one of about 8 that I made, and every one of these has about 6 or 7 droplets of patchouli oil soaked into the wood. So when you get it, you open it up and you smell the stinkor. Kenzo, the white Orko.
The figure was announced there to San Diego Comic Con with a few others.
Well, if that
bit of a 2-pack, so he's coming with old
Gwildor.
Gwildor there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I could probably pass on the white Orko, but he's going to look really good. But of course, he's coming with Gwildor, and how can
want to get that Gwildor?
You can't resist Gwildor.
I wonder the way they've styled him though. He looks more cartoony, so I wonder if we're going to see him in Revolution there.
Oh, he'll be. I'm 99% sure he's going to be in Revolution.
We may still get a movie version though, mind you, but.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I don't know if you saw those photos. I think they're having a bit of a con in Germany there. They've been announcing all the different guests, and they showed a photo of a person that had done the Castle Grayskull diorama there with the Great Eye of the Universe, and they had Skeletor in the throne and Sorceress trapped in that.
I did see that. Yes.
Little, part there. Yes.
That's beautiful.
It's rather fantastic. They did all the pathways leading up to the Great Eye.
That's so cool. That's so cool. If only we could just have, if every artist could just if the government could assign each artist a warehouse, I think we'd be a very happy society.
Oh yes,
People making
but
things.
something to have a look around in. We have
Yeah.
a few of those places over here, a few war museums, and
There you go.
they keep all the planes up in Christchurch there.
Yeah.
All the planes from that era, and
Yeah.
then we have Ferry Mead. There's a few German fighters in there, and an old steam train, and so forth.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yes,
I love
a
that.
few of those places here jutted about throughout Eternia and what have you.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. This is Merman. This is the Merman that I did. I did a few. Yes, I did a few Mermen, and this is I think my favorite one of the batch.
Yes, I do prefer that looking merman there.
Yeah,
that's why I went with the Lords of Power, the origin.
Yeah,
I figure.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, those are the slides that I brought, just to show off some of the things I've been working on.
Indeed, that's all I really had there to show, and
yeah,
I guess unless anybody has any other questions they might like to ask you, but yes, I suppose we've gone for quite a while. Then you'll have stuff to move on to. So with that, I suppose yes. What do you got happening there in the coming weeks?
Well, we're gonna record another episode of Cambridge and with Sean here pretty soon. That'll be an October episode. We didn't record anything at the end of August or at the beginning of September, so we took a little bit of a break there. I don't know if anybody listens to the Cambridge and with Sean podcast, but my friend Mark, who has a podcast called Wake Up Heavy, he primarily talks about
like me when the Castle Grayskull cat's been sitting on my face in the morning.
Exactly. He talks primarily about like horror movies and cult movies, movies in general, really. Wake Up Heavy. And then when he and I get together, we have a podcast called Cambridge and with Sean. We talk about our obsessions that we've had over throughout our lives. Thank you, Kenzo. That's very nice of you. But
it's been good having you on the show.
So that'll be coming up. And I've got some other stuff that I don't want to announce yet that I'm excited about. I'm gonna try
keep that secret there.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx anything. But some stuff coming up here. It's gonna be cool. But Eldor, I just want to say, I didn't get a chance to say this to you at the beginning. I'm gonna say it now. I'm a huge fan of what you do. I'm a huge fan of what you bring to the toy community, and I love your work. You are an extraordinary artist. I feel being here and talking about my work is fun, and I feel like it's great because I know that you understand what this is all about.
Yes, I dabble in much of the same things that you do.
Yeah, but I just gotta say, I was a little nervous coming on and talking to you because the work you do is spectacular stuff.
Well, I try to run the ship as in a nice easy flow there, as it were.
You're a good captain. But I really appreciate you having me on. It's been awesome. I love talking to you as always.
Oh, it's been good talking with you indeed. Of course, you've no doubt have your weekly weirdo popping up there.
Oh yeah, that's coming up this Sunday.
Interesting figure. And were you pausing with Toy Frenzy? Was it, or were you still going ahead with another episode next week?
Oh yeah, Toy Frenzy's happening. Toy Frenzy's, we've got a good episode next week, and then of course Weekly Weirdo is going to be this Sunday. Good stuff coming. Everybody, that watched, most everyone that watched tonight with you and I usually tune into Toy Frenzy. So
yes, so recognize.
I love that, and
it's a good community all gathering together.
It really is. It's a great community, a good positive community, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate being here and talking to you.
But yes, I thought doing a live side of Custom Figure Time to learn about the others in the community that also get a bit creative there.
Yeah.
Would be a fun thing to have a bit of a spin-off of there. And yes, and get you out there, and people learn what you're all about there. And indeed, you can follow Skele Vader there at his channel, which I think I've got down in the description there, and also his Instagram account, which is I think also with that.
Yeah, thank you.
And so yes, once again, thank you, sir, for giving up of your time so we can talk to you and see what you're about and how amazing all your creations and your creativity is and whatnot.
Thank you, Eldor. And for those of you watching, make sure you click like on this video and all of Eldor's videos, and subscribe to his channel if you haven't done it yet. It's awesome. So yeah.
Oh, I forgot about all that.
Yeah.
Doing the YouTube land stuff there.
Do the YouTube thing, right?
If you like.
Yeah. If you like, that's true. It's a good way to put it. I always forget about that stuff too until the last minute. But yeah. Yeah. Again, Eldor, thank you so much.
An honor, sir. A real pleasure indeed.
Yeah.
And yes, we'll say I think we'll say goodbyes there. And yes, good journey, everybody.
Good journey.
Cheerio.
Awesome.
Long goodbye there.
I think
it's supposed to be running an end credits there, but never mind. We'll just end the stream properly.
All right.
Goodbye again.
Bye.